All right, thank you so much, Jonathan. Well, as we are continuing to celebrate the great Black History Month, we are raising awareness of some key and important issues affecting the Black community. One of those issues we're going to talk about today is the stigma surrounding mental health, particularly among Black women. I'm so honored to have Tiffany Williams-Brooks, friend of the show. She's back. She's a licensed counselor at the Harris Center, and there are a lot of questions people have about mental health in any community, but the Black community is very interesting in women, especially because you often have Black women who are either misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed. Why is that the case?
Yes, first of all, thanks so much for having me back. Good morning. So with the symptoms of depression, typically the common symptoms are feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, sadness, difficulty sleeping. But in a Black woman, those symptoms look very different. Some of those symptoms include feelings of irritability, excessive thoughts of self-criticism, sometimes even somatic complaints such as fatigue, headaches, body aches. So those symptoms look very different. So if a provider is assessing a Black woman, he or she may not be looking at those symptoms. So that means that woman is going to be misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed.
So is that I mean, I hate to say this, but is that the fault of the physicians out there who are trained, who may not have actually been trained when it comes to different cultures and their habits, which is no fault of their own, but they may just not be aware of it, right?
Absolutely, no fault of their own. Actually, some of the studies that are done typically have participants who are predominantly white. So there's not a lot of studies out there that have Black participants, and that's why we want to bring more awareness to the symptoms that Black women will present with, because they do present with these symptoms, and those are the symptoms of depression.
That's very interesting. And also, if you have friends out there, African-American women out there, that now you know some of the symptoms to watch out for when you're around them to help them out too. Speaking of which, let me go in that direction, because within the community itself, not just women, but mental health issues altogether. Rarely talked about.
Absolutely.
Why is that, and what can we do to change that?
Yes, so the stigma is still there. Although we have made many strides towards talking more about mental health and mental illness, the stigma is still there. I often talk about the strong Black woman syndrome, in which the cultural expectation is for Black women to be competent, strong, and self-resilient, and that means that they suppress those symptoms and focus on other needs and neglect their self-care. So historically, we have been very reluctant to engage in mental health services just because of some other historical incidents that's happened in the past. But it's important to realize that this is real. Mental health and mental illness is real. We need to focus on that.
So what can you tell women out there in order to remind themselves, yes, you need to focus on yourself. We do know that. We say that to all women all of the time, but to not look at it as a stigma or something to be ashamed of, because I know that comes in there, but what can we do to change that?
We can talk more about it. I tell others, if you are noticing this symptom in your mother, sister, girlfriend, wife, have those brave conversations with them. Talk with them in a way that's more accepting and not judgmental. But we also want to encourage workplaces to have EAP services and to encourage women and others to seek those services when you need to. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be okay with mental health.
And if people need more information, where can they go?
They can come to the Harris Center, so you can contact us at 7 to children, adolescents, and adults, or you can Google us at theharriscenter.org.
I love that. And of course, she's going to be back in our next hour to talk more about mental health during this Black History Month. It's an important issue that needs to be discussed, so those who do need help, whether they know it or not, can get the help that they truly deserve and need as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you again in just about an hour.
Sounds good.
And coming up next, hear from a pro race car driver champion who's getting ready to hit the track this weekend in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, which kicks off right here on CW39. We're also going to hear why this weekend is so important for other race car drivers too.